This is the Minecraft village. Now, I'm pretty sure that many of you have been to a village at one point or another. And you probably also thought to yourself, what if there was a village in the end dimension? Well, today, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I think an end dimension village might possibly be like if added to the game. If you happen to enjoy what you see in this video, then please feel free to subscribe, leave a like, and turn notifications on so you never miss an upload. So this, my friends, is our custom Ender village. Now, when designing this village, I kind of thought to myself about how Mojang might go about adding a village into an end dimension like this. So if you look at this, I have it on top of a floating island because I thought that this would be a really cool, unique design just to have for a Minecraft village. Because a lot of times you usually find people redesigning the end cities, and I kind of thought to myself, you know what, that is kind of predictable. When you think about the end cities, it's kind of like the home of the shulkers. So that should be left alone as is. Now, this village does not have every profession. I did not put in the fisherman because obviously there's no fish inside the end, and it wouldn't make sense to have that. But there is a butcher, but the butcher does have some kind of livestock, which is from my increased add-on. And of course, if you think about it, there could be a few other livestock around the end as well. I introduced a new type of livestock, which is a type of llama that you can find inside the end dimension, called the Enderlock. And I also have some farmers right here as well, doing a little bit of work. But how did they get the wheat? And how did they get the carrots? Well, whenever players are traveling around the world, but whenever a player dies, they lose all their inventory. So the villagers, they swiftly go over to the stuff and they pick it all up and steal it for themselves. I mean, how else would they get the different crops? I mean, that's the only explanation, right? Unless the Endermen are secretly villager lovers, and they're the ones that are bringing the food to them. Now, not everything that they eat is from the overworld, because as I mentioned, there's the Enderlock, which the butcher chops up, and then the villagers can have a good old meal. Unless the villagers, some of them are like vegetarians, then that'll be another thing. So right here, we have the end drop berry bush. But for the idea of having berries inside the end, I think it would be really cool if you could grow a type of berry. So the only professions that I have are butchers, farmers, armorers, blacksmiths. I have the mason, I have the fletcher, I have the cleric, the librarian, I have the cartographer. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the design of the houses, because I wanted this to look very close to how the end cities do. When you think about a Minecraft end city, they have those flat purple roofs. So I kind of thought, what would a Minecraft village house look like if you were to take the same design from the end cities? And you know what? The results are actually surprisingly really cool. And I also introduced some beds. Now, as we all know, if you try to use a bed inside the end dimension, then, well, it just explodes the area. But if you didn't know, villagers can actually use beds. Yeah, that's right. Villagers, they can use beds, but players cannot. And the fun fact is, they can also sleep in the end. So like, if I'm going to switch it to nighttime right now, I'm going to go and demonstrate this. So it's now midnight. All the villagers are going to run over to their beds, and they're literally going to take a quick nap until I switch it back to day again. They're now sleeping on the beds. But, we get this glitch. I thought they fixed this glitch. Mojang, I thought you had fixed this glitch already. I did not expect to see this again. But this is still a pretty cool glitch nonetheless. But the villagers, they are sleeping in their beds. Oh no, we have a straggler. Oh wait, never mind. He went right to bed. Good villager. Good villager. You cannot be out past curfew. The Endermans might get you. So villagers, get back to work. And now it's time to take a look at the inside of the houses. So we have results, the first one, which this one's a standard design for the blacksmith. I did not change the design too much besides the roof, and of course replacing some of the blocks. But I did make a custom armor shop, which I think turned out really great. And you'll also be able to get yourself some custom loot inside the different chests. And you can also find chests in there as well, and these chests will give you some different types of stuff. Then we have the mason's house, and I didn't change the design too much besides the roof, and of course these surrounding blocks. But if I were to come inside of here, just like you would expect from a mason in the overworld, I'm sorry villager, okay, I didn't mean to get in your way. But just like you would expect from a regular mason's house, we have ourselves a stone cutter, we have some blocks around the back, and then of course we got ourselves a loot chest as well, which will contain random stuff. Our next house is going to be the cartographer's house, which is, well, the same design as the overworld. And then our next house is the fletcher's, which is going to have a fletching table, obviously. We have a loot chest, and of course that's basically it for this house. But our next house is going to be the cleric's house. aka the church. Now, I think the church turned out really great. It's actually one of my favorite buildings throughout the Star build. But on top of the church, I went ahead and added in an end gateway. How would the Ender villagers even get to the end in the first place, and how would they actually travel through dimensions? Well, the end gateway would probably be the best bet. But or maybe a player went through this. Like, you never know. A player could have gone through the end gateway, the player could have built the village, and the player could have ended up dragging in the villagers. Like, that's probably the best option for the scenario. And for the final house, we have the librarian's house. So this is going to be basically the same design as the Overworld one. But that's basically it for everything that we have inside this village. And with that, that is my idea of what I think that a Minecraft village should look like inside the end dimension. And down below in the comments, I do want you to tell me what you think of this. Do you think that a Minecraft Ender village would look really cool? And do you think that Mojang will ever do something like this in the near future? If you guys enjoyed this video, then please leave a like on it, subscribe with notifications on, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.